Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is a young lady, IYANNA Dior. She is a young trans lady or woman who was attacked in Minneapolis a few days ago. And I find just something odd about this story. Something a little bit strange, peculiar. We're going to examine it just a little. IYANNA Dior's beating proves Black lives still don't matter if you're trans. Well, excuse me. I thought that Black Lives Matter encompasses all. Whether you're trans, gay, straight, lesbian, male, female, child. I mean, you're inclusive. It's inclusive. It would include trans people. I don't understand why it has to be qualified or certain people have to be qualified. Not sure about that. But it says right here, IYANNA Dior explains transphobic brutal beating in viral video. In case some of you do not understand or know about the video, we'll bring it up. And warning, it is graphic. Now, as you can clearly see in that video, there were both men and women involved in that unfortunate attack. And my question has always been, what led up to that attack? What precipitated, that attack? Why did it even happen? What happened before she was even inside the store? Rumors have been going around stating that Miss Dior hit a 17-year-old girl. I'm not sure of the circumstances. It's allegedly. Everyone says he was fighting a 17-year-old girl, so that justifies a mob of people jumping him. Y'all so damn delusional. Why your own stance? My question is, who's someone first? Because you have first love raising your hands to a man and then playing the victim when you get hurt. Nothing y'all say will justify hood jumping one person, male or female. Okay, this one says he was beating a 17-year-old girl. Don't make him look like he didn't do anything. A grown man beat up a 17-year-old girl. What do you think was going to happen? In regards to this, I did hear that the mother, I was looking for it but couldn't find it, wrote in and gave her response about him allegedly hitting her daughter. Let's move on. I heard he was drunk driving, hit a woman's car, then punched a 14-year-old daughter. Now she's 14. Well, between 14 and 17. And was also hitting people with his car. So if this is true, he is not a victim. And he is about to make this a homophobic issue. P.S. This has absolutely nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, which is a movement against racism and police brutality. Now, I do agree with part of that. This is not really a Black Lives Matter issue. The reason why I say that, many in the trans community try to make it a Black Lives Matter issue and not understanding that Black Lives Matter was created for the sole purpose of addressing police brutality, for addressing officers, police officers, law enforcement, who are civil servants, whose job is to protect and serve the community, not to brutalize the community. Black Lives Matter does not cover hoodlums, hooligans, gangs, mobs of men, everyday black citizens going out there terrorizing other people. That's not what Black Lives Matter is about. So it's not a Black Lives Matter issue. None of those people, I believe, were in law enforcement who attacked her. Okay, this one says, he hit a 17-year-old child. Use a different face for Black Trans Lives Matter. There are plenty of Black trans people that get killed for just living their lives. Use those people, not someone that hits children. I'm going to tell you where I kind of agree with this here. Because the story is so murky, there's just a lot floating around, and you do not want to protect or jump on a bandwagon because you've seen one video. I do believe that we need to be careful. Because here's what I find very strange about this story, personally. As you've seen, she was attacked by people. Now, why wasn't law enforcement called? Was law enforcement called? Is she in contact with law enforcement right now? Was a complaint filed? I find that to be very odd. And the only reason why I can think of that none of those things were done is because Miss Dior has something to hide. There are rumors going around stating that she was at a house drinking, partying, and that she was intoxicated while driving. It also says that she hit between 3 to 5 cars. I'm hearing different numbers. I hear 3 and I hear 5. Just like we hear a 14-year-old girl, then we hear a 17-year-old girl. So there's too much murky information going on around. But I want to let you hear the interview that she gave. Hear her side of the story. And just listen to this.
Take out some tune in. Let's let everybody tune in for a second. Oh, wait. I don't want to start the live without everyone on. So for those of you that are just now tuning in and watching this after it's been live, I'm just going to give folk a second. We're going to give about 2 minutes for people to tune in and to share the live video. Of course, I have this amazing and beautiful young lady with me right now, and we're just going to see what it is that it do. If you all cannot hear me and or hear her, please let us know. I'm going to let you all know now that there's not going to be like a Q&A. We're not answering no questions. We're just going to go ahead and address the situation and kind of give her a chance to be able to share her story and let you all know what it is that's going on. So if you all could either give me some thumbs ups or some hearts to let me know that you all can hear me, that'd be greatly appreciated, okay? Oh, what's up? You have your phone? Because we gotta look at your phone to make sure that we can be heard. Oh, there goes some thumbs up. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Thank you all so very much. Again, as I said originally, we're not going to be answering questions. I'm going to kind of just be here to narrate. I'm not here to take up space. I just want to make sure that we're able to kind of like have a conversation and make sure that you all are aware of what took place and give her a chance to be able to tell some of her story. Again, as I said in the very beginning, we're not here to answer any questions. I hope that you all don't take it the wrong way, but that's my call. It's not on her. It's my call. Okay, I'm saying that she's not going to be answering these questions, and it's only because I want to make sure that she's okay. Okay? So, we're going to give you all a couple of more seconds. Go ahead and please share. Thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate the love and all the hearts and the thumbs up and the support. All right? So, we're going to give y'all like 2 more minutes and then y'all know how I get when I get hot. Okay, this hair, y'all love how this hair be, but this hair hold heat. Okay, it holds heat. And anyway, so I think that it's okay to go ahead and get started. You okay with getting started? Okay, she pretty, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to start off by saying who I am and my pronouns, and then I'm going to allow her to introduce herself so that way you all know who she is and how to address her. So my name is Dee Waters. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm not representing any organization or anything of that nature. I'm just here because it could have been me, if that makes any sense. And this right here would be
IYANNA Camry, and my pronouns that I use are she and her.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So, first and foremost, I kind of want to know just a little bit. So, I think that the thing that's most important is just to straight up, like, right now, just to ask you, like, how are you, so that people can know, like, I know that there's a lot that's going through your mind and stuff like that, but how are you?
I feel disgusted, really, honestly. I feel attacked. I don't know, a lot of emotions are running through my body. I honestly don't know how I'm supposed to feel right now. I'm feeling, I don't know. It's just how I'm feeling.
No, it's okay. So, for those of you that's going to be in my inbox talking about some social distancing, it's just because the camera look close. So, don't even pay attention to this, okay? It's the camera. So, it's okay. And it is absolutely okay. This is the reason why we're not doing Q&A. Does that make sense? There's no need to answer the questions that will be posted. If you all want to hear the story, this is the way that you're going to hear it, okay? So, I think that one of the things that's important to do is to kind of tell people about what took place, if that's okay for you. I also want to make it clear that if you decide that you need to stop for a minute and breathe, then that's absolutely okay, because we definitely affirm breathing, okay? So, when did the situation take place?
It took place, I don't know what time it took place at night, because I was like,
Time don't matter.
It took place right behind Sam's Dairy,
okay,
right on the east side, down the street in St. Paul, Minnesota. It happened, my friend had told me to move her car, so basically I had moved her car and I had parked it. Her cousin lived right behind Sam's Dairy, so we were going inside of their house. So we went inside their house for a little bit, and then once we came outside of their house, before we came outside of their house, she told me to move her car. And mind you, a lot is going on with me at this point. I went to go move the car, I reversed back, and when I reversed back, I had drove up and I was going to do a U-turn to come back around, but I ended up hitting 3 cars, and I was almost going to hit a car that was on the side of me, but she had moved back, luckily, And then basically, I tried to reverse back in the car that I was driving. I tried to go back down there to get my friends because they were sitting in front of the apartment building, so they were just sitting there smoking their cigarette. So basically, the car wasn't moving. They weren't coming down there with me to see what had happened, so I ran down there to them. I'm like, oh my gosh, so I just messed up on this car and I just crashed all these cars. I really feel bad that I just did this. But at this point, now that I did this, I'm like, okay, a lot of people, this is like a hood gang area, so I'm like, a lot of people's gonna come out of these buildings and try to attack me. So I'm like this, y'all, can we please just go? Lynette, get in your car, I'm gonna pay for it. Please, can we go? I don't want to be attacked. Like, please, let's just go. It's too late because she tried to pull off in her car. Her wheels was flat and she couldn't. And basically, everybody started coming outside. Her cousin, whose house we were in, she came out there. She's yanking me out the car because I was sitting in the back seat at this point. She's like this, oh, you need to get out my cousin's car right now. You need to get out the car right now and say what you got. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not getting out this car. I don't feel safe. Like, I'm not getting out the car. So then basically after that, all I know is this. I don't know, more other people came. This dude had came. So then I'm like this, okay, I'm trying to get out the car because you're steadily mussing me and like pointing your finger in my face trying to get me out the car. I'm like this, okay, I have a choice. I could walk away. So I'm basically walking away. I'm in the alley. I'm starting to walk towards the store. The dude came up after me and was like I don't know what your little gay ass is doing. He was clutching his pants like up and something like, I don't know where you think you're going. You're not going nowhere without upping no money. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm so scared. I'm like, okay, I'll just turn around and walk back to the alley the direction you're going because I don't want you to shoot me like while I'm walking to the store, And I seen what he was doing. So basically, I had walked back to the motherfucking parking lot. When I went to the parking lot, the lady with the tan hair and with the braids, she's instantly yelling at me. Everybody's yelling at me. They're all attacking me. I'm scared. I'm telling my friends, let's go. I said, sister, please, can we just go to your house, please? Because she lived right down the street. She's like this, oh, nobody's at my house. And mind you, this is the friend that I was living with and staying with just a couple months ago. Literally. So anyways, I'm like, that's just bogus. I don't even care, So at this point, the lady's coming up to me. She's like this. I'm like this. The dude's deli talking to me. I'm like this. Just shut the fuck up talking to me seriously because at this point, this isn't even your car. This is her car. So she's like this. How much do you think you're finna give me? I'm like, I'm gonna give you $500. Please, can you just give me to the store? I wanted to get to the store because the only thing that that's what I want to do, but I want people to know actually what happened, So basically, they had walked me to the store. Everybody, it's a lot of people. They're all behind the store. They walked me all to the store. I hurried up, ran in the store. I took my shoes off, and I ran straight to the worker. And I said this, could you please call the police? I don't have any money to pay these people. We're going to have to get it situated in the court of law. I don't have money, So I'm like, please call the police. Please call the police. And then he's like, no, you need to get out of my store. You're causing too much drama. You're causing too much attention. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going outside to go get attacked by all these people. Everybody's following me around. What do you think I'm going to go outside for? To what, just sit out there? I'm not going to go outside and sit out there and then possibly get my ass beat, But it happened anyway. So then I'm in the store. There's this one girl, Talia. She was helping me, but she wasn't really helping me, She was basically trying to get everybody to get out the store. She was trying to get me behind the counters. She was trying to get me locked up behind, like, in the cage behind there. But the people who owned the store was not trying to lock me up in there. Like, when all... It's just so much.
It's okay.
So much.
It's okay. Okay, so slow down. So we're at the point to where you're in the store. You're trying to make sure that you can still be safe. So has anyone like physically attacked you yet, or
no one.
You're in the store? There's someone who is at least trying to aid you to keep people away from you. The people that are in the store are telling you to get out of the store because you're causing issues. And so now all of that is taking place, right? So now how do you get it? When was the first lick thrown?
The first lick was thrown, I should say, about like maybe 15 minutes into it. He was like, okay, everybody get out of the store. He was putting people out the store. He was even trying to put me out. I'm like, no, I'm still not getting out the store. I don't care. Even if you put them out, I'm not going out there with them. So basically, the lady with this hand here had stayed up in there before he was getting ready to lock the doors. And then she was like, you're going to give me my money and you're going to give me my shit. I said, no, baby, when the police come, that's when I'm going to give it to you. Well, I'm not going to give it to you because I don't have it, but when we get it situated in the court of laws, that's when you'll have some money, So basically, she's like this. She's like, I don't know, she just sucker punched my face.
She was the first
She's
one.
the first one to touch me.
Yeah, okay.
She punched me in my face, and she like literally sucker punched me in my face. Like, I can't even like describe it or explain it.
So she was one of the people whose car
whose car I crashed.
Okay.
Yes, who I had crashed into.
Okay.
So basically, she had sucker punched me, and I ran behind the counter. But as I ran behind the counter, everybody's running back in the store. And then there's a girl that had basically, after that had happened, so after she had punched me and I ran behind the counters, everybody ran in the store. They all came up to her. They're literally at the counter, and I'm behind the counter, And then the dude's steady talking, the woman's steady talking, and I feel like, why would she just punch me? So I spit. I'm not gonna lie, I spit on her, and I just spit on her. I remember spitting on her, and then I had spit on her, and then after that, what had happened was somebody came over the counter this way, somebody came over the counter that way, and then the girl that had ran up on me, I had grabbed her by her hair, and I had basically restrained her to the floor. I didn't even hit her or anything. I just restrained her to the floor, and then all I know is everybody's coming behind the counter, grabbing me, and I blacked out from there. I don't remember anything else. The only thing that's running through my mind is, am I going to be safe? Am I going to make it out of here? Please don't let me leave this store. Like, let me get back in the store. Just fight. Get back in the store. Don't let them take you out the store. I didn't care about getting here. I just want to get in the store. I just want to stay safe. I don't want to die. Like, I was sitting here really thinking I'm going to die. I was really, really scared.
So a lot of the allegations that have been taking place and a lot of the things that have been put on social media, as it pertains to this young lady attacking other people or things of that nature, that's not what took place. This is her telling her story, and so at the present time, the things that are going on right now is predominantly her health, making sure that she's okay and that she's well, and at the same token, she's definitely trying to make sure she's owning up to the thing that she did whenever the incident took place, as far as the accident was concerned with the cars, right? The problem is that now, people are attacking her and people are coming at her, and for so many people to attack her, that's just not right. There's no way that can become justifiable. This child is only 20 years old, and to have that many, men and women that are adults to do something like that is really, really horrible. So what I'm asking is that for those of you that are okay with supporting and offering financial assistance, I know that many of you all may have did the Cash App. She's with me now, so I want to let you all know that if you've done the Cash App and the money was accepted, great. If it wasn't accepted, we're going to be putting up a link so that way we can go ahead and be able to do the fundraising the right way. That way we'll know where it's at. She'll be able to get it. Y'all don't have to worry about all these different Cash Apps. There's going to be one link. I'll share that link very soon. I'll also possibly put it in the comment section that's here, as well as I'll post it on my page. She'll be able to post it on hers, and you all can share that link. That will be what we will be donating to. Do totally appreciate you all wanting to help, but just be mindful that that's not what Cash App is set up for, and it's going to keep going down. So right now, the thing is that once the link is added, I definitely ask that you all support in the ways that you all can. We definitely have a goal. We're going to figure out what that's going to look like and what life is going to be like for her as we move forward. So for those of you that have reached out, she's getting the messages. The thing is that it becomes overwhelming because there's so many people. And so I definitely want you all to know that she knows that you all are reaching out. I'm relaying messages to her that you all have given to me, and so far and so on. So again, while we're here, is it still okay for people to reach out to me to be able to get in contact with you?
Yes, that
okay,
is
let me pull this back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's fine with me. Joe ain't doing nothing. That's fine. You good. So that's still the same situation. So if you all happen to have any questions or anything like that, please reach out to me because this is extremely overwhelming, and we don't want her to be overwhelmed and feel attacked by community just because we're trying to check in, if that makes any sense. Do you have anything that you would like to say to them before we get ready to go? So, again, we're going to put a link there, and I know that this was short, but it was short and sweet. And the thing is that we have to be mindful that anything that can happen to any of us can happen to one another, if that makes any sense. So the reality is that, trying to point fingers and figure out who to blame and stuff like that, the reality is that she was attacked by a mob of people. You know what I'm saying? And while we're running around screaming about Black Lives Mattering, her Black Lives Matter. And so it's extremely important that we be mindful of what took place and how things went. And just because someone is trans-identified does not take away our black card. We just as black as you are. And the reality is that it's not fair because we show up. We show up. We show up. And all we're asking is that you show up as well. So if you have go ahead. If you have the ability to help and support, we ask that you do so. The link will be there very, very soon. We ask that if you all want to send love, that you can definitely do that. Just note that if you're in her inbox, she's probably not going to be able to check it right now because it's a lot that's going on. Okay? So we're going to make sure that she's taken care of to the best of our abilities. But definitely, if you all can support, please do so by using the link. Again, if there's a GoFundMe that you see, it's not it unless I've posted it on my page as well as she's posted it on hers. Okay, so I really want to make that part clear. As I told you all at first, we're not answering any questions, but I definitely thank you all for the support. She'll go back and she'll look at all of this stuff and she can make her own decisions. But right now, we're not answering your questions, but we're definitely accepting your love. So thank you all so very much. Anything before we go?
Thanks for the love and support. It's very appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. We'll talk to you all soon. Love you all so very much. Thank you.
Guys.
Candace Owens was reminded.
Okay. So there you heard Miss Dior and a representative giving her side of the story. And I'm going to have to be blunt. My bullshit detector went off big time. A lot of things just do not make any sense at all. She mentions that before the attack, there was a lot going on. Okay, it was a hood gang area. And I'm going to tell you one thing that's apparent. One thing that is absolutely 100% sure. It was not a trans attack. It was not initiated because she was transgendered. That's for sure. She stated that after she hit the cars, people started coming out. So it definitely was not a trans attack as some in the media are trying to paint it. It was her actions of hitting a car. Now, if she was inside of a car, she hit a car, and she knew that it was a hood area, my thought would be, why not just drive away, go to a payphone, or go to a phone rather. That shows how old I am, payphone. I'm sure you have a phone. Go to a phone and call the police. Have them come back there with you and straighten the situation out then. And then you're with your cousin, told you to get out of a car. Your memory was kind of foggy. You wasn't really sure what was going on. You told someone, was at a friend's house, okay? And your friend says, no, we cannot go back to my house. That doesn't make any sense. I guess she claimed that they walked up to the store. So basically, no punches were thrown up until 15 minutes. So obviously, they were trying to get their money back. And I'm saying all this just try to piece things together. I'm not at all claiming that the beating was justified. But she stated that they walked up to the store and no beating had taken place up until 15 minutes, which proves that it was not a trans attack. It was basically an attack of someone's vehicle being damaged, someone trying to get their money back. And I do not know if Miss Dior was trying to really escape because she stated she didn't have the money. Boy, this is a mess. It really is. You know, I have no idea what you guys would even be donating to. I can understand that she stated that the donations are for so I can pay the people back whose car I damaged. But she's not saying that. So I have no idea as to what this donation is even for. So it almost seems like to me that she kind of provoked this or put things into play which caused these actions to roll in that direction. This is what people were saying. Because I can tell you one thing. Black men do not go around in mobs or gangs looking for trans women to beat up. They just don't do that. There is homophobia, transphobia in the black community, just like there is in the white community, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, Middle Eastern communities. There is that there. But black men do not go around in mobs, gangs, looking for trans women to beat up. So this whole Miss Dior, this whole thing is very strange. It really is. And I would say this much. Listening to that interview, it seems like she was being very evasive, that she was being very deliberately cautious, being very deliberately not answering some questions. And if she was really beaten like that, or what she was, no doubt, she was beaten by men and women. I've seen men and women there, not just men. Why haven't you called the police? Have you made a report? No arrests have been made? You're violated like that? There's no follow-up with contacting a law enforcement agency? I mean, this case is like pretty big now. I mean, I would think that someone would want to represent you pro bono. But no, that didn't happen. And I'm going to mention why. And I mentioned it before as to why those things did not happen. She stated she was at a friend's house. And behind the counter of another video that I've seen, it looked like she was intoxicated. So like a lot of young people, it's normal. They get to friends' places, they get together, a night out, they drink, they do drugs. And apparently when she was driving the vehicle, she was probably under the influence of multiple things. Which is why the police weren't called, which is why a police report was not made, which is why she's not going to go into the direction of law enforcement. And she said a young girl she hit and pinned to the ground. Was that perhaps the 17-year-old? She probably don't want to call because she laid hands on a minor. So Janet Mock said, say IYANNA Dior's name. Sorry, Janet, I would not say her name. The case is too sketchy. It's too elusive. I have no idea as to what really happened. We don't really know what really happened. She gave an idea, and the idea of what she stated is it was apparently that it was not a transphobic attack. It was not an attack based upon because she was transgendered. So that little myth right there, we could definitely put it to rest. You know, I have a feeling that this is not going to go really far. I think this is going to die out. I think the marches are going to continue on, but this is just not going to have any legs to go. It's too sketchy. It really is. And when you have the idea, like some people were saying, you know, a biological male put hands on a 17-year-old, um, I do not know who that's going to go over well with. Even though she identifies trans, I understand she's a she, but if she's not taking any hormones or anything or any blockers, she still has the strength of a 21-year-old or 20 or 21-year-old male. And she said she spit it at people. Geez, this is wow, a lot. It really is a lot. So if you want to donate, you can to whatever she's going to use the money for. I have no idea. I would not donate. I would not be saying her name. Sorry she got beaten like that, but there's always two sides to every story. And I do believe that the full story is not quite out. It's just way too sketchy. There's a lot she could have done to avoid this. A lot. Number one, you're in a car, a hood area. You're in the safety of a car. You see all these people coming out. And you have no idea of what they may have. You drive away. You drive away. You report the incident to law enforcement. I got scared. I was terrified for my life. This is what I did. And you go back there with them. And you try to straighten it out with the people. You give your insurance, if you have any. You take down theirs. You legally straighten it out. You're a lone female. You're afraid of what these mobs of people in this hood area might do to you. There's a lot she could have done to really avoid this whole situation that, you know, she got herself in. Again, she did not deserve to be attacked, but it could have been avoided. And with that, that was another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and until then, I will see you beyond and through.